So I'm going to be showing you today lesson 2.4, state symbols. This is the next lesson in our Google Docs activity. And today what we're going to be doing is working with tables and links. Some of this may be review for some of you. Some of you may learn something new. So let's get going. So I'm going to read our overview for us today. I suggest that you pause the video and set your desktop up the way that you see mine. So on the left-hand side, I have the tutorial, and on the right-hand side, I have my Google Drive waiting to get started. Okay, so your desktop should be set up the way that you see mine here. I'm going to move down to the overview. After writing a report on your home state, you decide to include a table of symbols. This table will organize and illustrate the information and help the reader quickly access these important facts in your report. So the things that we're going to be learning how to do today is insert a table, use the paint format, which is my favorite one. I use it all the time. Copy an image, insert a link, resize an image, and crop an image. So basically all of the things that you're learning today are things that I do on a daily basis. The name of our doc is going to be last name, first name, last name, and then colon lesson 2.4. We can see that we have the table down below that we're going to be copying, and then we're going to be submitting our work as a PDF. So let's get started. All right. So again, you should be watching this tutorial in one window while your drive is open in another. So I'm going to go to my drive, and I'm going to go to my actual drive. I'm on priority right now. I'm going to go to our CAD folder, and then I'm going to open our My Docs folder. Okay. Now from the My Docs folder, I'm going to move this over just a little bit here. I'm going to add a new document. So I'm going to right click, Google Doc, and I'm going to name it what my instructions told me to name it, which would be my first and last name, colon, and 2.4. Okay, and then hitting return. And it now says everything's been saved. Okay, so now we're ready to get started. At the top of our document, we're going to type state symbols of California. So capital STATE SYMBOLS. And what I'm going to do before I continue is kind of move this so that you can see. I might need to make this a little bit smaller. Perfect. Okay. State symbols, and everyone's going to do California because it's not about the state, it's about the skills that you're going to learn from this activity. Okay. Now we want to center align this, so I'm going to highlight. Remember, if half of your menu bar or toolbar is missing, you can click on the More button, and I'm going to center align. I want to bold this, so I'm going to do bold. And I'm going to change the font size to 24. Okay. So again, 24, bold, center aligned. Okay, so now we're ready for the next. So I'm going to go ahead and hit return. Okay. Now we want to clear all that formatting, and the easiest thing to do is to use our clear formatting tool. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and it's going to take me back to left aligned. I'm back to 11 on my text size, and I'm no longer bold. Okay. So now I want to insert a table. Our table is going to have 3 columns and 6 rows. So if I go to insert, table, 3 columns, 6 rows. You can see underneath, if I move my arrow, my cursor, it's going to change, but you can see underneath it says 3 by 6. That's 3 columns and 6 rows. Once I click, I now have a table. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to type the information that's in our text to copy, and you can move from one cell to the next. These are called cells by using the tab button on your keyboard. It's on the left hand side of your keyboard above the caps lock key for most keyboards. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type this stuff up. You can be typing as well. Again, using my tab button to move through. You can also use your arrows. Okay. So I'm going to move on in a second. If you're not done typing, go ahead and pause this real quick until you are done typing. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to format our top row. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag my cursor. So again, click and drag. Okay. So you can see that it's turned blue. That lets me know that the whole first row has been selected. Okay. I want to center align. I want to bold. And I want to make these size 14. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm going to bold this. So I'm going to highlight and then bold. Okay. And now what I want to do is I want to make all the rest of them to be bold as well. Okay, so if I keep this text selected, so I'm going to click and drag. Okay. And then what I want to do is use the paint format, which looks like this little paint roller. Okay. So if I click on it one time and then click and drag to the next, it will make it bold, but it won't make any others bold. See, that stays the same. But if I double click, now I can click and drag. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted this one. Sorry about that. Ah! See, it stays until I take it off. So I have to click it again to get it to go away. Let's try this again. Click. So 2 times. Now, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and now I have to go click it again. Otherwise, everything after will go to that format, and I don't want it to. Okay, so again, if you click it once, you can use the formatting once. If you click it 2 times, you can use it multiple times. You just have to go back and click it again so it will stop doing that. Okay. So we are going to go to a website. I'm going to put it right up here, and then I'll link it into our assignment when I'm done with this tutorial here. But we're going to go to a website called www.statesymbol.usa.org. Okay. Now the one that we want is California. So I'm going to go ahead and select California. Okay. Okay. I'm going to X out of here, get rid of that. Okay. Move down. So you can see here we have the different symbols for the state, right? And it's similar on Wikipedia, but here's all the pictures, and we can use these straight from here. Okay, so what I want to use is, because my first one is the state flag, I'm going to go over here, okay, and I'm going to click on the flag. Where'd my flag go? I'm going to just make this a little wider to see if it's hiding. It's not hiding, so we just need to find it. Looks like it's in alphabetical order. Okay, so here's my flag. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the state flag. All right. And I'm going to right click and copy the image. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to my document, and in the image section, I'm going to right click and paste. Okay. So again, copy and then paste. All right. So if I go back, copy, and then come over here and paste. Okay. So we've done that before. That seems pretty simple. It's something that we've done in the past with other activities. So let's see. Let's go back to here. Okay. And this is super important. So we want this website up here. This is going to be our link. So I'm going to click up here. I want to make sure that it's all selected. So on my keyboard, or actually on my mouse, I'm going to make sure that it's select all. I don't have it there, but just making sure I select everything. I can do Control A or Command A, and then I want to copy. And then I'm going to go back here. And in my link box, I'm going to insert a link. I'm going to paste my link here, and then where it says text, I'm going to put state flag of California. Okay, so text, state flag of California, and then my link is here. Okay. If you're typing that, just pause the tutorial and then come back. Okay, I'm going to click apply. Now, if I click on this, it should take me to the state. I don't have to actually click on it because I have the preview that shows me, but if I did click on it, it would take me back to the state. Okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of these symbols. So we have the state bird, the state tree, the flower, and the insect, and everything is in alphabetical order. So if I go back to my state flag, I can hit the reverse button. Okay. And we want to find bird, tree, flower, and insect. So bird, right up here, the quail. Tree, alphabetical order, all the way down, all the way down. The tree, the flower, and the insect. The flower and the insect. Okay, so for each of these, you should have an image and you should have a link. Now, if your image is too big, we want them all to be about the same size. Okay, so to make them, to resize them, if I click, you remember you have your little boxes. Now, always try to resize from the corners. Don't resize from the top, the bottom, or the sides, because then your picture will come smushed. So you want to make sure that you resize from the corner. Now, if what you want to do is crop it, okay, there are a couple of different things. You can use the crop tool here, and then it's going to give you these black bars. And then let's say, for example, I want this to be a little bit smaller this way. If I move it down, then it's going to resize it to make it smaller. Okay. The other thing that you can do is, while it is selected, if you don't want to use the, let me go back, the crop, the other thing that you can do is double click, and those little crops will show up here as well. Now you have to make sure that you're using the right one, because it might, if you use the wrong one, it'll resize it in that box, and that's not what you want. What you want to do is crop it. So you have to make sure. It's kind of a tricky thing to do. Okay. So again, resizing means you're using these blue boxes from the corners to make them about the same size. Cropping means that you're cutting picture or pieces of the picture out. So you'll either use the crop tool or you'll double click to get the crop tool to show up. Okay, so now you're going to go back, and one of the things I'm going to be looking for is to make sure that you have, it says state flag of California, state bird of California, state tree, and then I can click on each of these links. And if you download this as a PDF to upload to the assignment, then I can still click on them. And so that's what I'm going to be checking. Obviously, I'm going to check to make sure that your pictures are on here and they've been resized so they're all about the same size. But I'm also going to check to make sure that your link says state blank of California and that the link actually takes me to the page for that symbol. Okay, to get to this page, this main page, I will be putting the link in the assignment when I'm done here. But when your task is finished, make sure you download it as a PDF and then upload it to the assignment page.